Welcome everyone, thanks for tuning in. So I was contacted again by a Teckin representative and they want me to review their outdoor smart plug. It's the model number SS36, has an IP44 waterproof rating, and if you look at the waterproof rating chart, it has the IP, and it has two digits. And the first digit is particles like dust, debris, just random objects, and the second digit is actually gives you an indication of what type of water repellent ability it has. And IP44 means that the first four says that it can it'll guard against objects that are 1 millimeter or larger, and the second digit, the 4, represents that it can take splashing from all different sizes. And minimal ingress allowed. So basically that means it can get rained on and it may get a little bit of water inside it, but that's supposedly a non-issue. And I wanted to, for comparison, the Vermi smartwatch that I reviewed in the previous video has an IP68 rating, and the 8 is as good as it gets. It can be submerged for long periods of time, and I don't know what the 6 is. It's small particles thrown at high speeds or something like that. But you can look at the chart. If you ever wonder what your IP rating is, just check out a chart. So this means that you surely shouldn't hit it with a water hose, anything high pressure. You could ruin it. Just rain is supposed to be okay. So let's get this unboxed, take a look at it. All right, so my initial impressions are good. Looks like it has a pretty substantial cord. I assume that's 12 gauge. It probably would have to be in order to be able to draw 15 amps, which is the rating of this device. Nice rubber caps that cover both of the sockets, so that's good. Rubber feet and a place to hang it. So obviously it's polarized, and actually it's not polarized. The plug is not, which means they're both the same size. I don't know why with the ground they wouldn't have one larger than the other one, but it's non-factor really. So let's get this paired up and see how easy it is to pair to the Teckin app. All right, so the setup is this. I'm outside in the shop. I'm going to hook up the Teckin smart plug, the outdoor smart plug, to the Wi-Fi, and then I'm going to hook up extension cords, and we're just going to take off. It's raining today. If you're wondering what the blaze orange and the camo is, it's youth season's coming up, so I'm getting fired up for being able to take my girl youth season hunting for the first time. So it's going to be fantastic. So let's get this connected to the Wi-Fi, and I'm not going to show that on the Teckin app. I've done that. I feel like I've done that 1,000 times. So just watch any of my Teckin videos to see, or at least most of them, to see how you pair an smart plug to your Teckin or the Smart Life app. It seriously couldn't be easier. The comments are riddled on my page of people having trouble. I haven't had any trouble. I've had one out of probably 25 appliances. I probably had one that was defective. So it's probably the way your Wi-Fi is set up, and you probably just need to contact the maker of your router, or all else fails, contact Teckin. Let's get this connected. I'll be right back. All right, so here's the setup. I'm not going to bring my shotgun microphone outside in the rain, so I apologize if the audio is not quite as good. But I have a 25-foot extension cord. Let's take it outside, shut the door, and see if we can control the smart outdoor plug. And then if we can, we'll just keep adding extension cords until we can't. All right, let's see if I can control this thing out here in the rain. All right, so I'm 25 feet away from the Wi-Fi router. I'm actually closer to 60 feet away on the 25-foot extension cord. So here's switch 1 and switch 2. All right, let's add an extension cord. All right, so we're at 90 feet now. The white indicator in the center, that square, indicates we have good service. The wireless router inside the shop is 40 feet the other side of that door. and I have 50 feet of extension cord. Let's see if I can switch them on and off. Oh, push the wrong button. Fast response when I'm touching the switches on my iPhone. Yep. Off. On switch 1. On switch 2. Wow, this is really impressive, guys. Check it out. That's 90 feet. Let's add an extension cord. Alright, everyone, check this out. Not exactly as the crow flies, but I'm almost 200 feet from the left corner of my shop to the outdoor smart plug. And I wanted to show you what I was clicking earlier. So let's click switch 1 on. It indicates that it's being on. And look, it's lit up. Now I'm going to turn it off. Switch 2. Switch 2. My phone's wet. It's messing up my presses. Okay. Ah, this is cool. This is a lot of fun. Check it out. Going through a steel building, insulated steel building. The white indicator right there means that it has Wi-Fi signal. It'll turn red when you're out of range, but I'm out of extension cord and I'm absolutely soaked. Well, guys, that was one of the more fun videos I've done in a while. Running around like a maniac in the rain, stretching out extension cords and seeing how far I could get this thing. That last video, that last shot of when I was at 150 feet, that was at the end of it. Because of the interference from the insulation and the steel of the building, that was as far as I could go. Because when I tried to go a little bit further, it was turning red. The little square, I guess it's the initial pair button, will turn red to indicate that you no longer have Wi-Fi service. So man, that was cool. 150 feet through steel building, man, that's great. I did not expect that. And they boasted, this thing's soaking wet, they boasted it had a really good Wi-Fi receiver, and it's no joke, they do. I want to talk a little bit about safety. Try to throw that in whenever there's a concern. I took every necessary precaution working with this electricity outside in the rain, making sure that my hands were dry as possible before I connected or unconnected any of the extension cords, and I didn't plug anything in here. I don't have any IP rated outdoor appliances. And the only thing I have that's IP rated are my shop lights, and I just wasn't going to climb up and undo one and take it outside. So I didn't do it for that purposes, but I think you can clearly see when the numbers were turning on and turning off, white LED behind the indicators 1 and 2, it was clearly working, and no smoke and mirrors there. But also, just because you can stretch this to 150 feet on an extension cord does not mean you can pull 15 amps through it. You're going to burn something up. 12 gauge extension cord, I think at 100 feet, you'd have to look at the chart. The further you get, the less amps you can draw through it without overheating whatever's plugged into the wall, or the voltage drop across the appliance can cause damage too. There's a lot of variables that go into play. When you, when you go further in length, you have to increase the gauge of wire, increase the wire size, which would be lowering the gauge number. 10 gauge is thicker than 12 gauge, just as 12 gauge is thicker than 14 or 16. Keep that in mind. If you got a 100-foot orange cord and you expect to draw 15 amps through it, you're going to burn something up big time, cause fire, blow breakers, do all kinds of nasty stuff, so don't do that. But 15 amps rated, man, that's really cool. What else can I show you about this? Like I said, I had to be careful outside. I didn't want to die. What else can I show you? It's soaking wet, and I had no issues with connection at distance. Leave me some comments if you want to see something. And I forgot, I wanted to mention too, QR codes on the side of the box to download the app for iOS or Android. And you can also control the outdoor smart plug with Amazon Alexa or Google Home. I'll leave a link in the description where you can purchase this off Amazon, and thanks again.